Well, today's Sunday and it's October. It's the 1st of October 2023, and well, I had to go in search of a different heart today. So here's a different heart. It's a steel iron heart again, but this one's a bit different. It's got some pebbles in it. So I'm not in Palma Nova. I'm in Port Andraitx. So there's the port. We swing around and see it's got a really big port over there, but there's boats moored on this side as well. So that's all the leisure boats, if you like, and some quite big ones here too. It's a port that's grown tremendously since we came to the island. Lots of houses right up on the hills over there with magnificent views over this port. But it does still retain some of its original identity, and part of that is the fact that it still is a working fishing port. And you can see over there the fishing boats. Will be walking past them in a moment. Just have to cross a bridge. So we're in the southwest, nearly as far as you can go down in the southwest. You can go a little bit further and we've got San Telmo. I did a video from there not so long ago. This is presented by Fernando Garcia Palma. He's the artist who created this. I quite like that. We'll move on. More artwork here, look. Multicolored. And this one's by Barbara Veal. I guess that's how you pronounce it. I'm not very good with pronunciation. And some of the benches here, this one in particular. Lots of benches along there. It's really hot sunny day. I know we're in October, but we're back up to 30 degrees again. 30 degrees, and I've come out mad really. It's 3:30 in the afternoon. It took me a long time to decide where to go. I have to cross over this nice wooden bridge. It's quite breezy. In fact, it's very breezy. So there's a few ripples here. This port, that's the entrance to the port, and there's a big wall that goes across part way on each side, which you'd think gives it really good protection. But if the wind is coming like today in this direction, it's blowing straight into the port. I think that probably means the water's a little bit higher than normal as well. And sometimes when we get really strong winds, do get quite a bit of damage here. It's not like that today, and the breeze is actually quite refreshing. So a few speedy type boats on this side, bigger ones on the other side on another occasion. We'll have a little walk around there. I did say as we were down there, it is a working fishing port, and you can see that from just all of the nets and paraphernalia that go with fishing all piled up here, and the trawlers. It's a really hard job, I always think, is going out to sea and fishing. But, I suppose if the rewards are there, people will continue to do it. And then over here, pretty sure this is the fish market, so the fish will be brought in and sold very, very early in the morning. So it's a Sunday, so no fishing boats going out tonight. I'm going to walk down close by the fishing boats. Why not? See where they have to fill up with fuel. And there's a little slipway there for the other boats to go into the water. I've got to walk back around because I can't get around this way. Yeah, we've been back from England for a month now. When we first got here, we had what was referred to as the gota fria, and the temperature did drop. It went cold, it went wet, it went windy. We had some magnificent storms. I'm not sure that's the right way to phrase it, but they were storms of a spectacular kind. And you begin to think that that's it, the summer's over. But just like normal, in a normal year, the temperature goes back up again. I did read that it might be a few degrees warmer than normal. Yesterday on our terrace it was 31. I went out for an evening walk and it was 30 degrees in the evening, the sun going down. And it's pretty much the same today. So those of you who are heading out here now for what you think is an autumnal holiday, well, it's get your shorts and t-shirts on weather, very much so, and enjoy this wonderful sunshine. It's 3:30 in the afternoon now, 28 degrees here in Port Andraitx. More trawlers here. You can see these are really quite big, hefty looking boats. And they will be bringing in the fresh fish for all the restaurants here. You can see just how busy they are. And this whole quayside here is full of bars, restaurants, and particularly busy because it's a Sunday and you get the local families here. Very cosmopolitan, Port Andraitx, lots of different nationalities. When we first came here there were lots of British, a few Americans even, and a few Germans, and the German population has increased vastly in this area, and you'll see that there are lots of Germans here. No, that's not what that means, unfortunately. That means brothers. It's hermanos. But as you're walking around, you'll hear lots of British voices, English voices, English-speaking voices, but you'll probably hear more German-speaking voices. Some people feeding the ducks here and the fish. Quite big fish, half a metre or more in length, some of those down there. I need to walk into one of these bollards. Duck out of water. No, that's not a duck. That's a duck. This is the Campec restaurant. Generally speaking, lunch, particularly on a Sunday in Mallorca, is quite a late event, and people won't sit down until sort of 3 o'clock, so people are just starting their lunch right now. This is one of the sea walls that I was talking about that protects the harbour. Goes out quite a way down there. I'm going that way though, I'm going this way. Port Andraitx doesn't have a beach as such, really. I suppose if you want a beach, then that's it. So there's a little bit of a sandy place there, but no big sandy beaches. and the other sea wall's further out up there, and all of that's to protect the boats. And spin around a bit, you can see it is a very well protected area, but it is a bit of a funnel, so if the wind's in the wrong direction, and it does blow in the storm right into the port.
I think it's entirely unsurprising. Oh no, she got fucked when they let over in.
Not so many hotels here, but this is one of them. Right on the water's edge. Restaurants down here right in front of you. And for me, this is the most famous of them. Tim's Bar, named after Tim Light. I'm pretty sure that when I first came to Tim's Bar, that was it. I don't ever remember him having a terrace outside, but now it's all terrace outside and extension into the building next to it. Tim left the bar many, many years ago.
La mañana me levanto, entreno,
Menu of the day, $29.95 there. That's the entry. And that's generally what you find here, where we might be looking at, for a Sunday menued LD, you might be looking at 19 to 20 euros. In other places here, you're going to be talking more like 30 and probably more. It does have that premium. We can have the fish of the day, whatever that might be. 27. We've got two menus of the day there, 25 and 27. So, Fortuna. Sumaya. But you're sitting right next to the sea, you're in a beautiful position. The waves are lapping against the wall right next to it. There's our today's specials. Some places won't have a menu of the day, you just have an a la carte menu and you just choose what you want, of course. Mar Blau, because though they're fully booked today. Their menu, they've got two special menus, one for 32, one for 28. Loud music, that would put me off straight away. Don't like loud music blaring out. This last one, no, not quite the last one. Roca del Mar is this one. Oh, it is the last one, yeah. Just walk to the end and have a look out to sea. A convenient bench there so you can sit, watch the world go by. But as I say, this is all now a little bit open to the elements if the wind's in the wrong direction. It's particularly strong, and Anita and I have been here and the waves have been so strong they've been splashing all the way over this wall. Today it's more of a gentle ripple down there. Beautiful views, amazing houses up on that side and up on that side. You'll find the film stars here and the rock stars and whatever stars there are. Michael Schumacher has a house not too far from here. May well be here actually. It's all very secretive where he recuperates. I'm going to head back. See if I can find some shade. It really is warm in the sun. Do a lobster paella here, which is 39 euros per person. It's going to be expensive if it's lobster. I have received lots of messages about people saying how expensive Mallorca's come, and to the defence of the businesses here, it's become expensive for them too. Everything here has sort of become more expensive, and it's been reported in local press. Right, we're into loud music again. Goodness, they've even got a DJ. I might have to do some editing at this point, I think. How to spoil a nice restaurant. I was in the process of defending the percentage, the rises in the costs here, and I was saying that basic things, when you go shopping, have gone up something like 14%. Where general inflation has not gone up so much. Certain things have, and particularly here in the Baleares. And from a business point of view, electricity has got to be a real big issue because, because you need air conditioning. To get your customers in, you've got to keep them comfortable and happy. And so air conditioning is running all the time. A lot of the places like this look, got the air conditioning belting away, and it's completely open at the front. It's like trying to air condition the world. It's never going to work, but I suppose it gives you that little bit of coolness. We went to watch Majorca play football to a bar, and we sat outside, and it was just too hot to sit outside watching the match. It was in the shade, but it was still really hot, so we moved inside, and they got two big air conditioning units inside. And they're only using one of them simply because it's too expensive to run them both. Made it a little bit more comfortable, but it's still very, very hot. Add to that, rents. These establishments are mostly rented, and the owners want to get their money, so rents are extremely high, so that's another additional cost. And then on top of that, you've got to employ your staff, which has always been very expensive in Spain. You have to pay huge amounts for social security here. But the added problem of Mallorca is because the cost of living is so high, people who would come here probably from the mainland or from Eastern European countries, particularly to work for the summer season, just haven't bothered coming. They know that they're not going to be able to afford to rent an apartment for the summer. So unless the business is actually going to provide them with accommodation, they just won't do it. And that has been a partial solution for some of the staff issues. Some of the hotel groups, for example, have set aside rooms for staff, and some businesses will have apartments which they can rent out to the staff at a reduced rate so that they can actually employ them. But there's been, all through the summer, there's been a problem with staff. Some businesses have really struggled to find staff, and some of the staff that they have employed have been inexperienced, and so the service that they've been offering has really been a little bit below par. I'm not saying that's true for everywhere, but we've certainly experienced it, and people we've spoken to have experienced not as good service as you'd normally expect.
Everything I read said like a little band is gonna get messed up.
Just up some of the side streets you'll find bars and shops. Today's Sunday, so a lot of the shops maybe not open up the side streets. They are along the front because it's tourist season, and it's tourist season, they'll stay open. On those back streets you'll also find lots of arty type places if you're interested in buying an objet d'art. Then I'm sure you might find something here. There's a more reasonable menu del dia. That's not bad for a Sunday here. You've got a choice gambas or shellfish, spaghetti or fish, and a pasta as well, and a Copa de Vino, $22.90. That's not bad actually. Sunday and in Port Andraitx. More places up there actually open. I'm going to head back towards the car. Found a little bit of shade. You can see over there there's a shady parking. It looks like it's for motorcycles only, but it's shady parking, and it's covered in solar panels, and I think we're starting to see more of that now in Mallorca, is that some of the parking lots are offering shade, and the actual shade is being provided by solar panels. I was in the DIY store the other day. I couldn't believe how cheap solar panels have become. So for a 450 watt solar panel, it was only just over €100, about 115, 116 euros, which I thought was quite a bargain. Of course, if you're going to do an installation, you can't get by with just the solar panels, you've got to support them, and then you've got to feed them into some sort of a regulator and well, probably a feed-in system to your network. If you live out in the sticks, you'll be feeding them into a battery as well. And the batteries are not cheap, batteries are very expensive. Find lots of estate agents here, and just a quick look in will very quickly tell me I can't afford anything. There's one, 12.5 million, 11.4 million, 12.9 million euros these. Yeah. Very expensive part of the island. This is another one. Again, prices are all in the millions. There's that one at the bottom there, that's 10.5 million. Beautiful view over the sea, little pool. This one looks like a real bargain then, doesn't it? This one's only 3.4 million. Mind boggles. It's a bit of a shopping sort of complex here, Centro Comercial, says Baleares. And I never actually noticed that before, but it does have an upstairs, and there's a restaurant up there that people are going to. I'm just going to walk down back towards the sea, pretty much back to where I started. You can see a bit of shade. God. Yeah, I never really noticed that up there before. And there's an Eroski. Eroski's a reasonably quiet shop. So looks like they're open on Sunday too. Probably because it's the summer. I've come by car because getting to Andratx is not so easy for me. It means I have to go into Palma on the bus and then get the bus out. And I think that's probably the story for a lot of people. If you're in Palma Nova, you may well have to go to Palma in order to get to Andratx. You'd have to check with the TIB. If you check with TIB, that will tell you. TIB is the company that runs the buses, tib.org, I think it is. That's all the buses outside of Palma, and there's a TIB bus just going over there. I think one of our last videos down here in Port Andraitx, we actually went to the Indian restaurant here, had a lovely Indian meal. I think they're only recently taken over, and it's looking pretty smart. Not many people in now at lunchtime, but hope they're doing well, because on a future return visit I think we may well call in again. Now, I'm saying how expensive it is, and here they've got a menu, 2 courses, 14.80, well, 3 courses, it says it's got a dessert as well, €14.80, that's got to be a bargain. A gentleman with an umbrella, does he know something I don't know? Definitely don't need an umbrella today unless you're going to use it as a parasol. Right, quick crossover here. There's a bus stop. And this is the lines that you can do. This is one that go, well, starting at the top, that one goes to Santa Ponta, that's the 122. The 121 takes you from here to San Telmo, and this one, Port Andraitx to Palma. But don't think it stops in. Don't think it stops in Magaluf or Palma Nova. Well, you can see I'm back at the car park, and I wasn't sure what sort of situation the parking would be, but there's actually quite a few spaces down there, so parking was definitely not an issue. So, well, quite a nice walk, nice breeze, so it didn't feel as hot as it really is. But thanks very much for watching, and I will look forward to seeing you in the next video. So, bye for now. Bye.